Hello. Today I want to start like a new series. Um, it's gonna be called like Unsolved Mysteries. It's something I'm really interested in too. And today I'm gonna talk about the creepy murder in room 1046. So on January 22nd, 1935, a man calling himself Ronald T. Owen checked into the Hotel President in Kansas City, Missouri. He showed up with no luggage. He was described as being 20 to 35 years old. He had brown hair and a visible scar on his scalp above the ear. Kind of like, I imagine it like here, I don't know. And he had a case of cauliflower ear, which is like a deformity on the ears. He was nicely dressed in a black coat and received the room key for room 1046. Now I'm gonna take my time to do the liner because I am the worst at this, and I'll be right back. The maid, Mary Suptic, said that Owen allowed her to clean while he was in the room, but he asked her not to lock the door behind her because his friend was about to visit the room very soon. She said he kept the blinds drawn and the lights off, with the exception of one dim lamp. Other staff members who entered the room mentioned the same detail. The maid also mentioned that Owen was always worried about something or afraid about something, and he kind of wanted to keep in the dark in the room, At 4 p.m., the maid returned with fresh towels to find Owen laying on the bed, completely dressed and in the dark and with the door unlocked. She also saw a note that read, "Dawn, I will be back in 15 minutes. Wait." The next morning, January 3rd, she came back to clean the room. She noticed that the door was locked from the outside. She just assumed it was Owen. He locked it when he was leaving. However, Owen was sitting inside the room with the lights off again, so that meant that someone else had locked the door from the outside of the room. So when the maid was cleaning, Owen answered a telephone call and he said, "No, Dawn, I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat. I just had breakfast," repeating, "No, I am not hungry." She again returned later that evening with fresh towels and heard two male voices coming from inside the room. When she knocked on the door, she heard a rough voice say, "Who is it?" When she explained that she had fresh towels, the voice replied, "We don't need any." During the night, a woman staying in room 1048 would report hearing loud noises, both male and female, cursing on the same floor, although there was a party going on in room 1055. So they don't know if it could have been the people from the party or if it could have been something else. The next morning, January 4th, around 7 a.m., the hotel switchboard operator noticed that Owen's phone was off the hook without being in use. So she sent the bellboy, Randolph Probst, to go see what was going on. Despite the door having a "Do Not Disturb" sign, the bellboy knocked several times and heard a voice that said, "Come in, turn on the lights." However, the door was locked and no one was getting up to let him in. So after knocking repeatedly, the bellboy just said, "Put the phone back on the hook," assuming that Owen was drunk. About an hour and a half later, at around 8:30, the phone was still off the hook. Another bellboy, Harold Pike, let himself into the room with a passkey. Using only the light from the hall, the bellboy discovered Owen laying naked on the bed and assumedly drunk. He also noticed that the bedding was darkened around Owen. The phone stand was kicked down to the ground, so he fixed it and put the phone back into the receiver. From 10:30 to 10:45 a.m., the phone was once again off the receiver. So they sent one of the bellboys to fix the situation, and when he opened the door, he saw a truly horrific scene. This bellboy told the police, "When I entered the room, this man was within 2 feet of the door on his knees and elbows, holding his head in his hands. I saw blood on his head, and then I turned the light on. I looked around and I saw blood on the walls, on the bed, and in the bathroom. This frightened me, so I immediately left the room and went downstairs." Owen had been bound with a cord around his neck, wrists, and ankles. His neck had bruising, suggesting someone had been trying to strangle him. He had been stabbed more than once in the chest above the heart, and one of those wounds had punctured one of his lungs. Blows to his head had left him with a skull fracture on the right side. In addition to the blood that the bellboy had seen, there was also splatter on the ceiling. Dr. Flanders cut the cords on Owen's wrist and asked him who had done this to him. "Nobody," he answered. When then asked what had caused these injuries, Owen said he had fallen and hit his head on the bathtub. The doctor asked if he had been trying to kill himself. After saying no, Owen lost consciousness and was taken to the hospital. He was completely comatose by the time he arrived and died shortly after midnight on January 5th. The man's true identity remained unknown for a year and a half until Ruby Ogletree, an Alabama woman who had seen a picture on the news of his distinctive scar on the head. She identified him as her son, Artemis. She said he had left Birmingham in 1934 at the age of 17 to hitchhike to California. So this means this happened in 1935. So this means he was only 18 at the time this happened. Later, she received 2 letters, supposedly from him, from as far away as Egypt. In August 1935, a caller claiming to be from Memphis, Tennessee, told her that Artemis was in Cairo, Egypt. The letters had also been sent after Artemis' death. Records kept by shipping companies found no records that he had ever gone to Egypt. The letters were later used to link the killing of a 1937 murder in New York. But no charges were filed against the man arrested in that case, one of whose aliases had been Donald Kelso. Remember? Don? The FBI later investigated but was unable to produce any new leads. In 2012, a historian at the Kansas City Public Library wrote 2 posts on the library's blog about the case. At the end of the last one, he revealed that in 2003 or 2004, he had taken a call from someone out of state related to the case. The caller said that they had been helping to inventory the belongings of a recently deceased early person when they found a box with newspaper clippings about the Ogletree case and an item repeatedly mentioned in the stories, but they refused to say what the item was. No other suspects have been identified, and the Kansas City Police continues to investigate to this day. I don't know, I really like mysterious cases that have not been solved because that makes them even more mysterious. To me, it sounds kind of obvious that this Don guy or Donald Kelso guy is the one who did it. But for what I read, they still don't even know the motive of it. So they got nothing, pretty much. But yeah, I love this type of cases. They're very mysterious, and it's really intriguing not knowing what happened, really. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye!